Yeah, I think we can get started. Um, just post it on Twitter also. Um, I think everyone's here, so yeah, let's get started. We're gonna discuss last quarter and what we're gonna do in the next quarter. So that should be exciting.
Yeah, we've got some pretty cool plans. Lots of stuff in the motion at the moment. It's pretty crazy. Uh, yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Should we start with what we did in Q2 and then move over to Q3?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Um, where to start? That's the question.
Yeah, I think this AMA just to the audience is more it's let's say it's less prepared than the other ones, but we just want to go over Q2 a little bit. I think we've posted also in Discord what we've what we have checkmarked and what we have delivered in terms of features. Yeah, and please elaborate more into specific things, Henry, because Henry can get more in detail. But I think in general, I just want to mention that we are working every day here at the office, on Panzerdogs. The team has grown tremendously as well. We still are looking for an extra community manager. So if you know anyone, please go to luckycat.com/, or wait, it's careers.luckycat.com. But yeah, we've done a lot of stuff, and especially working towards the minimum viable product. I think one of the biggest things is actually the updating the white paper. We're very proud that we were able to add that to the white paper, the benefits of a free-to-play player and holder benefits. Hope you guys like it a lot, and also the renting design, which has been requested many times by the community. We have a full-time UI UX designer as well who delivered all the screens for mobile. So these screens will be implemented actually this quarter. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And one of the other big tasks was to add a user account registration. We didn't use as far as I know, a third-party tool or whatever. We built that from ourselves. And then we had like a deep collaboration with Fractal, not only from the tournament side, but also integrating their non-custodial wallet into Panzerdogs as well. And everything we've done, we had the mobile version in the back of our mind because at the end of the day, it needs to be scalable, and also working on these tournaments required some time, especially because we changed the way we distributed the prizes, and hope you guys like that as well, because we have a raffle system, and we spend a lot of time to design that system and also to make it more scalable in the future, so that developers do not have to work on the tournament side every time we organize a tournament. So future tournaments should be much easier for us to organize. And then on the content side, I hope everyone liked it as well. We had a new map, Astro, and a new weapon, the machine gun. I personally love it a lot. Yeah, I don't know if Henry has anything to add, or anyone else from the team.
Yeah, so a lot of our focus this quarter has actually been on a lot of stuff you can't see. We've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Like obviously, you're starting to see some of the fruits of that now, like with the account system and the big setup for the tournament stuff. The tournament stuff, as you mentioned, is really scalable now. It's part of what took up a lot of our time to get that stuff in a state where we were happy with it. But we're pretty happy with it now, and we can repeat the process for future tournaments and such. So it's very exciting. We have some. We managed in between all of this heavy work behind the scenes, we did manage to get some more weapons in, and a new map as well. That map was in the works for quite a while, so it's been really, really nice to see the community love that map. It's personally my favorite as well, so it's been very exciting. It's not the only map that we have in the works. That you probably have seen some little sneak peeks here and there on the Twitter. Then we have like that map that you saw that has mushrooms and more deserty looking map. They're not just mock-ups. We do have assets for those, and there are maps in the process of being designed around those tile sets. So you can expect to see some more on that. Well, actually, we may as well start talking about Q3. Actually, if I'm already talking about the future.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So you've seen the Q3 roadmap on our Discord, and one of the most important things we want to do is get mobile testing into your guys' hands as fast as possible. We did mention it in Q2, but with just the amount of stuff that we had to work through, we couldn't quite squeeze it in. But that's why it's going to be so soon this quarter, is because like it's something that was actively being worked on and it's still actively being worked on right now. But yeah, the time frame for that is pretty short. I can't give an exact number of like days or weeks or hours or minutes, but it's something that we get closer to literally every day. Like the game is technically playable as it is, but it's not ready. There's a lot of stuff that we need to address. Like there's some pretty astonishing little bugs that have only appeared on mobile that we're working on, and features that aren't directly compatible yet. So there is a lot of work happening there. You will get a fair announcement when we actually get to the point of testing with you guys, and I'm sure we have some big events planned for that as well, because it's a pretty exciting milestone to be able to play the game on your mobile with full NFT support and such. Yeah, we have a lot of UI work also going on at the moment for Q3. We're working on an XP system, and then obviously all of the stuff that involves. We also have other stuff like the Panzer Pass that is being worked on through this stuff as well. But that obviously has some prerequisites. Like, for example, there's no point in having a Panzer Pass without anything to get out of it. So the stuff that you get out of it is also being worked on directly. Yeah, we have some big new maps in the works. I mentioned that a minute ago. We have some new game modes as well. Probably have some bits and pieces to tease about those in the coming days and weeks. It's very exciting, and it might be somewhat familiar to people that have played other styles of game. It's a relatively fresh take on. Actually, yeah, I don't want to diverge too much. You'll see. You'll see. They also have some social features in the works, like friends lists, and pre-building teams, so you can group up as mates and jump into games together. It's very exciting. It's something I think that people have really asked for a really long time. So yeah, guess again, something being actively worked on. It won't obviously be in the first mobile builds or anything like that. These features do take time, but it is something on the way. What else have we got here? Oh, do you want to take some stuff? I've been talking a while.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But I just want to talk a little bit about our own wallet, and maybe also specify we are working on our own wallet. I mean, what we've noticed, and we're just going to be transparent here. What we've noticed is like like Fractal is a great partner, but we've noticed that there's a lot of dependencies, right? Because they have their own agenda. They're obviously focusing on their own stuff, and we began to notice that we had a major dependency waiting on certain features to be implemented in their SDKs, or for their wallet features, and yeah, we didn't want to get slowed down, and as Panzerdogs, we want to keep our pace up. We want to keep delivering features, and especially with a wallet system, we think that our own wallet would be, first of all, will be beneficial for the progression of the game, and we believe that we could, with our own wallet, we could make it more beneficial to the user and onboarding experience as well once we go on mobile, because we want to have as frictionless possible onboarding for the user when they start on mobile, right? So we don't want people to create an account and then sort of like being redirected to another website where they need to sign up and then be redirected back to Panzerdogs. We just want people to stay in the app and register and have a wallet right away. And we think the only way to do that is by creating our own wallet system. And we believe that.
Oh, sorry, go.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it's pretty important to note as well. This does not replace the current wallet integrations. It's like it's the default it will be, but you will still be able to connect any wallet as you see fit, as long as we have our support for it. Like this will be our primary method for like new users, right? They'll just go through a standard sign up process and they'll get straight in with wallet integration. And then directly from there, they'll be able to interface with the marketplaces and tokens and everything like this without having to need to go through the process that you'd have to do to make a wallet in any other way. Then you can understand right away like why that's important for a user, right? You want to have like the least friction between them installing the app and being able to interface with these features, right? And this is the best way that we can do that. We call it user experience. It's a very good user experience to be able to not have to go through hoops just to get a play, So that's one of the main reasons we're going for this.
Yeah, exactly. Just wanted to let you guys know we already have Phantom working on the app, but we are working on our own system as well. So get excited for that.
Yeah, and then and then we have Cyberdog mutations. Very, very, very soon you will hear more about it. We don't want to talk too much about it because an announcement will be coming soon. Unless David wants to add something to it.
Yeah, we haven't been teasing it today for no reason, so it's gonna be, like you said, soon.
Yeah, and maybe not super sexy as a user, but obviously we also need to set up the analytics. Our data scientist is working on that and making sure that we can deliver the best experience and making data-driven decisions as we've always done that, and making sure that we see where things go wrong or where we can see where we could improve certain features inside the game. So we're setting up analytics for that, and and then it's also we have to design a framework for an official App Store launch. But prior to that, as Henry mentioned, we'll send out test flights because we want to test with you, the community, first, and see, get your feedback and making sure that everything works well before we officially launch in the App Store and Google Play.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with the way mobile controls are shaping up. We're very happy, in fact. It's probably my favorite way to actually play the game. It just feels so natural. And we did account for this sort of control scheme right at the start. Like we came into this game with mobile in mind, so it shouldn't be that surprising that it works so well. But it does, and it feels very natural just because of the stuff that we've done. And I'm very excited to see what you guys think of the controls we've made. Yeah, I'd love to get some feedback from you guys once we actually have that ready to go.
Yeah, it's definitely also my favorite way to play the game. I think we had one question from the community about the mobile version. It's from Dark Sun, and he asks, I would like to know the focus of the playtest. So how can we see how we can break the game in perspective of the focus?
Yeah, so the main goal of the playtests will be testing mobile specific features, as well as interfacing with the desktop environment as well. Primarily, it will start at controls most likely, as well as general, the motions of developing a game on mobile. You can sometimes get very specific scenarios that only come up for certain devices, and it's good to get a good spread of that early on to be able to see where your pain points are. So it's sort of just like dipping your toes in for the very first tests, and then as we get more of the more in-depth features that we talked about, such as the Panzer Pass, and more rigorous features like currency and such, yeah, we'll be interfacing with you about that and seeing like how letting the users break the systems. Yeah, it's very important to get people's hands on that very quick.
And of course, performance, right? So there's many different Android devices, and we reckon a lot of the users probably will have Android devices. On iOS, it's a bit easier to develop in general because most of the devices have similar hardware, but still, like all the devices like the iPhone 6, there's still a percentage of the people that own such an older device. So we still need to check how the performance is, and if there are any hiccups, we would love to know like how you guys are experiencing the mobile version.
Yeah, and this extends to stuff like networking and such as well. Like playing in a mobile environment and the networking involved there is a different beast compared to PC. Sometimes it's actually more stable on mobile than it is over PC lines, but it's very yeah, we'll have to see. We've been doing a lot of testing and a lot of optimization, and also a lot of changes in terms of the back-end networking in order to make things run really well. At the moment, it performs comparably to the desktop version, and the desktop version has also seen some improvements that aren't quite live yet, that also make things much more stable. So that'll be very exciting to see as well. Yeah.
I think we have a question.
There's a new question in Discord. Okay, so ArcHacks asks, will there be custodial wallets inside the mobile app, like Steppen?
So yeah, the I thought you were going to add to that when you started reading it. So yeah, the idea behind the wallet integration that we're going for will be something like Steppen, I imagine. I don't know the specifics of their scenario, but if they have a custodial wallet system over there, then it will probably be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add to that this custodial wallet, maybe not entirely, because we do want people to own their own wallet inside of the game. So our intention is that if you play the game and you have a wallet, you can actually you get the seed phrase basically, and you can import it into Phantom, for example, as well. So you still have access to all your assets outside of the game. And custodial wallets are possible, but there's also a security risk in there. Like if we keep your private key somewhere on our server, even if it's encrypted, it's still a risk. And it's something I don't really want for Web3 implementation in that sense.
I believe we had a question, right? Or did that person disappear, David?
I think it was Shumba, but let me see. Maybe his question was already answered.
There was a question there about will there be a season 1 soon? I think season 1 specifically we may save for the mobile release, but that doesn't mean that we won't do test seasons for the Panzer Pass. Like obviously we need to make sure these systems work well. So it would be very silly of us to just deploy the full version of the season right away. We'll probably have shorter seasons as the functionality starts coming online. Maybe like on the space of weeks and such. That's not saying the Panzer Pass will be out in weeks. I mean, like the time frame that these Panzer Passes will run for will be weeks, just so we can get a feel for how the systems are working, and, ironing out the rough edges as we work on these systems.
We also have new game modes, right, Henry? I'm not sure if we can talk a little bit about that, but that also opens up like opportunities for new seasons.
Yeah, so we do have more game modes in the works. I don't want to talk too much about them because I kind of want to leave the ammunition for David to be talking about them in the coming days. But yeah, it's something that's actively being worked on. It requires its own full set of maps, so we will be working on those as well. Probably only a couple for the first testing periods as the game mode comes out. But yeah, it's very exciting. It should really change the meta, actually. Obviously, at the moment, we only have the team deathmatch mode. We chose team deathmatch as our first mode just because it's the best way to get a feel for how general combat works. And as we're starting to get more comfortable with that, we want to broaden our horizons a bit and see how it works with more objective-based game modes. So, yeah. We also have some deeper features as well that are in the works. We don't want to talk too much about them, so much secrecy, I know. But we're calling them team play mechanics, but they actually have a full name, and they've also been kind of teased somewhat already. If you've seen the tweet about the energy shields, for example, inside of on our Twitter feed, you might already start to get a hint of how this stuff works. There will be styles of abilities that are derived from your tanks. So that's about as much as I can confirm for that at the moment, I think. Yeah, I'll leave that as that, and then we can expand more on it as we get stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. If there are any questions from anyone who's listening, just raise your hand and I'll make you a speaker.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, I mean, it's so exciting. Like I you know, the more personally, the more I play the game, the more I'm addicted to it, and the more I think there's so much opportunity to expand on this, you know, core gameplay that we've sort of like perfected for for months and months. I mean, and just to think like, you know, we launched the alpha version in January, so we've only been going on for 6 to 7 months, and I believe like compared to any other Solana gaming project, we are very, very far. And you know, we're still obviously we are rooting for other games to be successful because we want this space, the Web3 gaming space, to be successful because it shouldn't be controlled by one game, but we do believe that the ecosystem could only grow with really, really top-notch games with really good user experiences. So that's why we constantly talk about user experiences. That is the reason why we've chosen to create our own wallet system, because at the end of the day, we only think about like how can we make sure that we can onboard new users as frictionless as possible and make the best user experience so that it feels like a Web2 experience and not so much like like a typical nowadays standard Web3 experience, which is not, let's say, super great yet. Yeah, and we just keep building every day, guys. And
Yeah, I
also
mean,
thanks for the support.
our focus from day one has been to make a great game, and that has not changed, and I don't think it ever will change. And it's so exciting to start seeing everything that we set out to start to be achieved in the scale that we sought after. It's somewhat intoxicating. It's brilliant. Oh, yeah. Something I missed off of our list is that we do have more tank parts in the work as well. I'm not sure about the delivery method for them mostly, but like we may use them as a good incentive for the first tests of crafting as that comes online as well. They will obviously have their own sets of mechanics and features and abilities. There will be varying tiers. They won't just be like high tier parts or whatever. But yeah, that will be exciting, I'm sure, as you guys can start getting your hands on new abilities, as you've already started to get quite used to the ones that you have already. And yeah, we will only just be getting started. We intend to do a lot more of that. So yeah.
We've got 2 more questions from Discord.
I think we first have a question from Shumba. I made him a speaker. So go ahead, Shumba.
Yeah, I'm just following up on the question that I asked in Discord, because I think I've been giving this game to my nephews, young people in school. They seem to be quite interested in it, but I was just looking at the sponsorship side of it so that I can sort of start sponsoring them to play. So I don't know how that side is going to work.
Yeah, if you check out our white paper, you can see the way that we have our renting system set up. It's kind of like sponsoring. You can like we'll intend to have methods of allowing only specific people to do your contracts, so you'll be able to build groups of people. I think we had a name for them, but I can't remember the name. I think we were calling them platoons or something like that. That you can set up so you
Commanders.
have commanders. Yeah, so we'll have groups of people that can come together as like clans and be able to work towards missions and earn that way. It should be pretty exciting. Everyone on board should be able to get stuff out of it. Yeah, check out our white paper. There's all the details are there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Arjan, you can go ahead if you saw any questions from the Discord.
Yeah, Bumpkin is asking, will mutations burn our current dog?
You can answer that one if you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Should we talk about it, or we're gonna announce it anyway? So let's just wait for the announcement.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
the systems for that are pretty cool, but yeah, I feel like we should keep that one.
Yeah, let's talk about it on Friday.
Yeah, you'll see soon. Yeah. The other one is for.
It's a good tease.
The other one is for you, Henry.
Yeah, it's from Don Tonka. He asked, you mentioned about the improvements to the Minotaur tracks and their abilities. Yeah, it's something we're looking into. Its performance, actually, it performed really well on the new map. So it seems like it's more of a situational challenge, I think, to try and fix it. We have had some thoughts about how we want to deal with it. Like one of the things that came up was making it so you block all damage in the ability that you're dashing. So if you're dashing directly towards someone, they have to get out of the way because they won't be able to knock you back or deal damage that way. But it seems a little strong, so we're going to keep looking into it. But yeah, we do have methods of doing that, but the balance for that part is kind of secondary. Like in terms of our focus, like our main focus at the moment is still on mobile, and we're committing a lot of our energy over there. But as we get closer to seasons, we start thinking more about balance and stuff. So yeah, when we have another event around the corner, expect an update to the way that the Minotaur tracks will work to make them more viable in more situations. I think that's it for questions, right?
I think so. Yeah, everyone, thanks for listening in. Be sure to check our Twitter and Discord. Keep your eyes on them this week because we're going to have some cool announcements coming up. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Nice hanging out.
Cheers.
See you later.
Thanks.